Greetings, fellow earthlings. Filet mignon here, coming to you from Medium Rare Poetry, and wasn't it wonderful to see the safe return of the 4 astronauts on the Artemis 2 program, nestled in their little Orion capsule, bobbing up and down in the ocean. It was so lovely to see. And to mark this wonderful occasion, I've written a poem, which is what I tend to do. And today I'm going to give you the background information on what NASA is not telling you. So, this is Artemis Too Late. Artemis Too Late by Filet Mignon. When I was just a little lad, my grandpa's shed was cool. Amid the timber shavings was a special kind of school. The wisdom of the ages calmly passed along the line, absorbed in wide-eyed wonder mid the smell of cypress pine. Looking out the window on one clear and balmy night, the stars put on a vast display. It was a wondrous sight. The moon was full and glowing with its lunar face a tease, when Grandpa'd whispered to me, it was processed from Swiss cheese. Now, I was not the sharpest tool out there in Grandpa's shed, but this new revelation wouldn't leave my muddled head. As I grew up and learnt some more of planets and the sun, I wondered how this lump of cheese had not gone off, by gum. Of course, I knew that Swiss cheese was quite famous for its holes that would explain dark patches on its lunar facial scrolls. What pained me was the fact that when eclipses came in view, it shouldn't be so dark. Those holes should let the sun shine through. At high school, my naivety was traded out with science, my core beliefs bashed out of me should I avoid compliance. But deep within, I held that big old moon was still Swiss cheese, when Neil Armstrong's landing brought my dogma to its knees. The moon was just a lump of rock, all covered up with dust, unless the cheese was mouldy with a very grubby crust. Well, that explained eclipses, so my faith was still intact, that Grandpa never lied to me, and all his words were fact. Fast forward 57 years, and rockets have improved. The moon, so long abandoned, was again placed in the groove. Mankind within their greedy way would mine its untapped wealth. They'd rape the earth, so why not violate the moon by stealth? The plan was build a lunar base for deep space exploration, moon's gravity conducive to a cheaper launching station. So lots of excavators would be ferried to the moon to do a bit of digging for the surface to be hewn. The ancient Greeks invented an amazing fleet of gods, made sense of their environment and bolster better odds. Artemis was lauded as protector of wildlife. She'd keep the creatures in their place, avoiding human strife. Thus, NASA termed their program as an Artemis foray, for living on the moon would sure be wild most every day. They didn't mention that Apollo found an ET base. To keep in good relations, they would need to lease a space. So 4 brave souls strapped in their craft atop a giant bomb were hurtled to the somewhat known to leave where they came from. Their craft was called Orion, the Greek huntsman with his club, a fitting name for astronauts who wished to build a hub. But this initial voyage was a survey type affair to scout out proper blocks of land to place their new hardware. It had to be obscured from most astronomers on Earth. A pesky telescope could spot a clandestine mine's birth. But first things first, Orion had to make the journey proper. Their onboard toilet made a smell. They'd need a high-tech stopper. The gasket that expelled the waste into the vacuumed ether had ruptured while Christina dropped a specimen beneath her. Oh, this is not so pleasant in a super compact space. You can't unlock the window, feel fresh air upon your face. The NASA plumbers racked their brains, a pong relieving sortie. The answer was to spray the loo with WD-40. All was good, the smell was gone, the loo resumed its function. The astronauts were all relieved for bodily compunctions. Easter was the launch date, chosen for the best conditions. The moon was full and made a clearer target for their mission. The pilot gripped his joystick, saw the full moon in his window, and aimed a straight trajectory, an easy course by jingo. Eventually they got there and flew round and round the moon, and then returned to Earth as us observers fairly swooned. They splashed down in the ocean, a simplistic craft manoeuvre. If mineral retrieval was the plan, they should improve her. Their survey trip was lauded as a USA success. The moon report was awkward, and its findings were repressed. A whistleblower spilled the beans. It seemed that we'd been beaten. The moonscape was a mess of holes, as if it had been eaten. Around upon the dark side, that's the face we never see, a mine was in production by inscrutable Chinese. They'd made a Silk Road treaty with the ET High Command, where moonstone ore was swapped for naughty earthly contraband. Orion, as she overpassed, were shocked as they looked down, with ET smoking opium, a spaced-out Chinatown. The crew felt quite deflated. They'd been beaten in this race. The Chinese had them cornered, and behold, they had lost face. The final insult came from grinning mining crew commune. They dropped their pants and gave the astronauts a cluster moon. So what peculiar element was Beijing's latest crop? A radiated mystery cube to power new laptops? A magic rare earth mineral to clad their EV cars? A form of lunar glass to eavesdrop on the furthest stars? Well, no, my friends, it seems my grandpa had been justified. The secret was apparent and no longer classified. An option used in burgers, as an extra, if you please. A quarter-pounder Peking duck with lunar-sauced chai cheese. You know, the problem that Orion had with their smelly toilet is not uncommon in the space industry. And it turned out that the Chinese had exactly the same thing every time they ferry miners up to their cheese mine. And it's known in their circles as the Xi Jinping Pong. Anyway, hope you like the poem. Please like, share and subscribe and press the notification bell so YouTube can tell you when another one's coming. And leave a comment if you wouldn't mind. That'd be fun. And I look so much forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.